Welcome, everyone. If everyone could find a seat, we can get lunch started on time. My name is Alan Robertson. I am the publisher of the Pittsburgh Business Times, and we're very happy to bring our Corridors of Opportunity series to Indiana for the first time. First, I'd like to introduce Indiana University President Dr. Michael Driscoll, who's going to welcome everyone here today. Dr. Driscoll?
Welcome to IUP in Indiana County. We're pleased that you've come to learn more about this wonderful place that's not too far from a place called Pittsburgh that you might have heard of, but is far enough away to provide a somewhat different atmosphere, and I hope you enjoy that while you're here today. I think ours is a community that's full of life and opportunity. We do very well at creating a flourishing place filled with creativity, innovation, and the results create good for this county, but far beyond. And I don't speak just for IUP when I say that. Here in Indiana County, we have great symbiotic relationships, and just a couple of examples for you. A few months ago at our annual chamber luncheon, I heard Bob Kane describe how, as a student at IUP, he had the opportunity to do an internship at the Ruskini Agency. That experience and employment after graduation was a factor in his staying here, and it eventually led to him establishing Reliant Holdings. And he hires our graduates. It's a great cycle. I also think that we're going to hear from Steve Ford from XTO Energy a little later today. And that's another place that hires our graduates, many of them from our top-notch geoscience department and our premier safety sciences program. Last year, those alumni of IUP who work for XTO invested in their university through charitable giving, and XTO further invested through matching gifts, so thank you. There are a lot more examples, but I'm told that you guys want to eat. I think it's important that as you visit us today, that this is a place that's full of promise, and the university brings value to the county not only because of graduates we produce, but also because of the expertise we can and do lend to our surrounding community. Because of our presence, we have excellent school districts whose teachers have convenient access for continuing education requirements. Our business college, which is well represented here today, the Eberly College Management Services Group provides a number of services that nurture business, a small business development center, a government contracting assistance program, an e-commerce tech support program, and on, and I've forgotten several people at the table, but sorry. But great services to support business development. And they also, those programs help our undergraduates and MBA students give unique hands-on, or get unique hands-on experience that help those local businesses. And we also share a wonderful cultural heritage and offerings within this community. So in addition to the hundreds of performances by our talented students and faculty, for example, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra performed on our campus. We had Beauty and the Beast here from Broadway in the last year, and many others. And in fact, this September 28th, our community will be hosting this year's Pennsylvania Governor's Awards for the Arts. The point is that we're a vital community, not just in terms of business support, but also in arts, good schools, those things that make life wonderful. So, I'm glad that you're here. This is a wonderful place to live, learn, work, play. Maybe you're starting to agree. So life is good, and I want you to know it. The university and local businesses have great partnerships, as do the local government, and we look forward to seeing more of you here more often and exploring the great opportunities we have to do business together. Thank you very much for being here. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, Dr. Driscoll. If you'd all share a little bit of information with me, for those of you who are from the Indiana area, if you could just raise your hand. And for those of you who are from the Pittsburgh area, so it's about half and half. So one of the real reasons that we created this Corridors of Opportunity series is to help people make connections, to build bridges between communities. So when you get a chance, meet somebody that you didn't know, shake their hand, and possibly do some business with them in the future. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back in about half an hour. We'd like to welcome everyone to the 44th installment of our Corridors of Opportunity series. We've been presenting this program throughout the region for more than a decade. I was corrected at lunch. This is actually the second time we've held this event in Indiana County. About 10 years ago, we held it in Blairsville, focusing on the energy prospects for the region. It was somewhat prophetic at that time. These events also coincide with a special section in the Pittsburgh Business Times that will be delivered to subscribers on Friday, and I think that we have a special copy being delivered to everybody that is in attendance today, so I hope you enjoy it. And if you'd like to start your subscription to the Business Times today, certainly enjoy your Corridors special section, but we have a special offer. If you stop by the Pittsburgh Business Times desk out there, you can get more information. And our next Corridors of Opportunity event will be held in Washington County in late August. So please join me in thanking, though, the sponsors of our Corridors of Opportunity series. Our presenting sponsor is Gateway Engineers, our premier sponsor is NAOP, and our event sponsors are Rothman Gordon, EHS Support, and DQE Communications. Our welcoming sponsors are Indiana University of Pennsylvania, First Commonwealth Bank, and the Roshini Group. I'd also like to thank the Indiana Chamber of Commerce for their support in bringing this event here. Please give those people a round of applause. They really made this possible. Now I'd like to introduce a representative of our presenting sponsor. Ruth Ann Omer is President and Municipal Engineer for Gateway Engineers. Her entire career has focused in the municipal engineering sector with a concentration in construction, inspection, and community outreach, which I think really is her true calling. She currently serves on the company's board of directors, and she's affiliated with a number of engineering and construction-related organizations throughout Pennsylvania. She routinely gives her time to mentor young engineers so they can reach their own professional goals. Ruth Ann?
Thank you, Alan. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you this afternoon in Indiana County. It's great to see so many familiar faces and meet a few new. We have talked about coming back to Indiana County, as I was the one that reminded Alan we were here years ago, for quite some time. And with all the positive momentum the county's experienced, we had to jump at the opportunity to come out and learn more about what's happening. Now, we all know about Indiana University of Pennsylvania, IUP, and the role they play for the county, but that's not the only thing that's happening in this corridor. The manufacturing, healthcare, and energy sectors are alive and well here and contributing to a steadily growing local economy. Today we're going to hear more about several of those sectors, the progress, as well as the challenges to businesses from a diverse panel of business professionals. And having chatted with them at lunch, I'm really looking forward to their words of wisdom. But before we begin today, I would like to take a pause for a moment and thank the Pittsburgh Business Times and all the contributing sponsors for making this event possible. Events like this foster positive growth and build lasting relationships, something that we are very big on at Gateway. So please join me in a round of applause for the Business Times as well as the contributing sponsors. Alan always thanks everybody else, and I know how much effort and time it takes to put something together. As I was talking earlier, I've grown very fond of these event series. Hearing the success stories and meeting the people behind them is truly inspiring. Positive, sustained growth is very difficult to achieve. We all know that ultimately it takes a lot of hard work and commitment to do it successfully over the long term. And Gateway Engineers, as a company celebrating our 60th anniversary, my father would be very proud. We know a few things about the opportunities and challenges that come with growth. It takes leadership to plan a really solid, good course. And from the years of working in this region, we are convinced that the Indiana Corridor is poised for great achievements for years to come. On behalf of the Gateway Engineers, I hope you all enjoyed today's program and that you will benefit from the information provided by our professional experts. I know I look forward to it. Thank you very much. Alan?
Thank you, Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann and I have been doing this for going on 10 years now, so I think we've finally got it down. So first, our sponsors today represent a broad cross-section of business opportunities in the Indiana corridor. For those of you who traveled today from Pittsburgh, a lot of the information will be new to you. From the locals here today, we find that even if you read the Indiana Gazette and keep track of everything that's going on, often this type of event can provide you with even more information. Our panel today includes Robert Kane, the CEO of Reliant Holdings and Chairman of the Indiana Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Mike Donnelly, President and Executive Director of Indiana Printing and Publishing and the Indiana Gazette. Ralph Resnick, President and Executive Director of the National Center for Defense Machining and Manufacturing. And Steve Ford, Government Public Relations Representative for XTO Energy. I'll be the moderator. This is intended to be a free-flowing discussion, so I'll throw out some questions and hopefully the respondents, we can have multiple responses to any of the questions, and I certainly encourage the panelists to answer or to chime in whenever they feel the need. So my first question, Pittsburgh Business Times is a newspaper, so in the newspaper business you typically start with the who, what, when, where, and why. So first, we'll start with the who. Every community has an economic development history and policy that is unique. So if you could talk about what is Indiana's economic development, who's running it these days, what kind of coalitions are you putting together?
Sure, I'll step in. Can you all hear me okay, back in the back? For starters, Indiana County has always had a very organized approach to economic development. I've been exposed to it for about the last 10 years, and when I arrived here 10 years ago, I was immediately introduced to Byron Stauffer, who's Office of Planning and Development with Indiana County, and have had a lot of exposure with Byron as a business owner, and now as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, I've had even more exposure to he and his team. They're essentially, if you're looking to do a ground-up project, or if you're looking for pad-ready sites, they're the go-to team. Commissioner Ruddock and the other commissioners, Patty Ivanko, Mike Baker, have assembled a wonderful team in Byron. Byron, where are you, by the way? Is he? Stand up, Byron. He's a round of applause for Byron and his team. He's teaming up with Jim Struzzi, and who's our new president of the chair at the chamber, and they're doing wonderful work. So.
Great. Mike, you were talking about, when we had a discussion previous to this event, about a group of individuals that get together on a regular basis to talk about the future of Indiana County. Could you share with us?
I'd be glad to. Yeah, I think about 20 years ago, there's a group of civic leaders and also political leaders that got together and said, we need to start speaking with one voice. So the CEO was created, which is the Center of Economic Operations. And what we did is we brought the county commissioners together, IUP, the chamber, the Development Corporation, and the Tourist Bureau. And we were able to now start to talk about the vision of Indiana, what we want to do, what our needs were, what we try to accomplish. And I think there were two things that we looked at in that particular arena. Number one was we had a great infrastructure in Indiana County, but it was all underground. We had a lot of coal mines, but all of our money was actually spent building buildings and building operations underground. So we knew we had a big void of buildings and for ready spaces or existing spaces that we already had. So we needed to get on that, and we worked together as a unit to try to get that going. And if you take a look, most of you probably came up 22. That corner of 22 and 119 was an empty lot, a farm of 100 acres about 20 years ago. And when this group got together, we fought very hard to get that rolling. That became our first real successful industrial park. And as you drive by today, it's completely filled. I'm sure Byron might have a spot or two, but it's pretty much filled. And we put a lot of our capital in that because we had to go out and do KOEZ zones, and that was a tough sell, and so on and so forth. And so we started building above ground. And then the other thing we started doing is working in concert with our elected representatives to track the money necessary to do some of these things that we're working with. So it's been, the CEO has done a marvelous job, and it's just very, very proud of that operation.
Great. Steve, you're somewhat of a newcomer to the region. First of all, could you talk about who XTO is and what you folks are doing out here?
Sure. Yeah, XTO Energy, and by the way, thank you, Alan, and Into the Business Times and IUP for the opportunity to be here today. XTO Energy is actually the nation's largest producer of natural gas. We're a subsidiary of the ExxonMobil Corporation. Our Appalachia division, which is essentially Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, is headquartered in western Pennsylvania in the northern part of Allegheny County. We have an office in Indiana. We're actually not all that new to the area. We have a good...
It took 6 months and $3,000 to get a computer, and they could get a computer for $400 tomorrow. And those are the kinds of things that the Research Institute was supposed to do, is also help, go back to more important issues, is help nurture the research components that IUP has. And that's what we've really been focusing on, and we've done a lot of business with the National Guard and developing a first responder opportunity that's been going on now for 10 years, 12 years, as long as I've been on that board. And we've got a lot of other programs going. We've got, Mike Driscoll, the president of the school, has done a great job of supporting that kind of entrepreneurial approach to allow this group to continue to grow and support not only just IUP now, but if I was involved in a business that needed some software writing and build a website, and they helped us do that as well. So they also invite outside industry to be able to come in and work with them as well. And they've got some brilliant people over there.
Great. I think then one of the other key drivers has to be the hospital, which is pretty unique in that it's one of the few independent hospitals left in this part of the country. So I also noticed that they have some new structure going up. So what role are they playing?
Yeah, Steve Wolf deserves all the credit. He came in here a dozen years ago and really turned things around. But the local hospital is called a sole proprietary hospital, which means by the federal government, there's only 156 of those in the country. And they have to be able to provide all kinds of services. If you watch sometimes in the Pittsburgh market, when UPMC comes in, consumes different hospitals, they lose their ERs, they lose this, they lose that. That cannot happen in this hospital. And but you still, hospital business is still a very tough business to be in this time. And the IRMC has done a marvelous job of innovation that it's unbelievable, and they have got a great vision, and I think they're going to be with us for a long time. And that's huge.
Mm-hmm. One of the challenges that we see in almost every community that we visit for our Corridors of Opportunity series is infrastructure. Certainly that's not a local problem, it's certainly not even a statewide problem, it's a national problem. If there could be 1, 2, or 3 transportation projects that could change Indiana County dramatically, what would they be?
Well, I think we need to look at 422, both from all the way from Katanning to Evansburg. We've got 119, which is a corridor to Pittsburgh, but that also sends you right into the tunnels. So 422 would take you outside the tunnels to the north side with a lot of growth. And then going east on 422 to Evansburg, once you get there, it's 4 lanes to any place on the eastern seaboard. And we are an 8-hour drive from 1/3 of the population of the United States. It's just, in a couple areas you have to go, it's difficult, the last artery, the last mile, so to speak, is a little difficult. So we're working on those diligently.
I would also say that, not saying that we have an issue, but as we look at infrastructure, we should not just focus on transportation, but we should also be sure that we have the latest and best communication infrastructure which is also a requirement whenever we're looking to bring industry forward. Fortunately, we have in our facility where we do a lot of data transfer, our communication infrastructure is strong. I just encourage that we don't forget about that.
I'd talk about another type of infrastructure as well, and that's the pipeline infrastructure to get natural gas to market. You can have all the wells in the world in Pennsylvania, and if it's not getting gas to market and getting it to an interstate pipeline, then it is not serving its those who we might be leasing from. Then it's not serving them well. It's not serving industry well, and it's not serving the community well. So ensuring that we're building out that infrastructure and working with the appropriate regulatory bodies to ensure that it's happening in a responsible and efficient manner is vitally important for our entire industry because the gas just doesn't matter much when it's not getting to market.
From the Chamber's perspective, we meet regularly with our legislators. We meet with Congressman Schuster's office, who covers a good portion of the county. We met with Senator Don White and Dave Reed, and they've all assured us that they've heard us with respect to what we believe the investment needs to be in infrastructure. And I would say, from the Chamber's perspective and what would benefit our members the most, it's the highway, it's the road from here to Evansburg and Evansburg to Katanning, and so that is a priority for us to get that finished.
Has that been funded at any level yet?
It has not been funded, but I'm told they're working on it. So that moves slowly, but we're going to continue to be the squeaky wheel on that because we believe that it's necessary for us to get us to where we need to be. So,
great. As we learned in the beginning, about half of these people are from Pittsburgh. If there was a couple things that you'd like to share with them about Indiana County that they may not know, what would those be?
I'll start with that. In doing any type of analysis of where you're going to locate a business or if you're going to make an investment in a location, I think there are several key tangible things you need to look at with respect to economic development, taxes, cost of real estate, infrastructure. I think Indiana County is extremely stable in those regards, and I believe when we were doing our analysis of where to go, the county got an A+ in all those areas. But then you go to, I believe, the intangible things. If you're going to locate employees in an area, you want to have resources that not only can they earn a good living, a good wage, but they have access to health care. We've touched upon that a little bit. That they have access to quality of life issues that are important, which translates into good schools. We have a solid, stable tax structure here. Indiana schools are excellent. All the county schools are excellent. There's a high quality of life here. It doesn't take, and if none of you from Pittsburgh have had an opportunity, I would strongly encourage you to drive through downtown Indiana. We recently went through a downtown renaissance that it gives you that good old feeling of a nice downtown area with a nice remodeling effort that we've gone through. The university just spent a lot of it was with private money. I think it was about $450 million in revitalizing that quadrant of town, this building that we're in right here. So it gives you a sense of quality of life, a sense of community and neighborhood, which I think are important to attract the quality staff that businesses would be looking for. We've got tremendous resources and staff here, and so I think those are the key factors of why you should try to consider locating a business here.
I would like to just add on to that. Because we talk about the CEO, and we've talked about a lot, but I can't talk about enough. If you're trying to bring a business to town, we've got a group of people that are real terrific problem solvers. We had 20 years ago, we helped a group open up a glass factory in town, and we used the governor's action team at that point in time, and they said it was the most complex financial arrangement. I don't think the list was smaller on who didn't kick money into this project than who did. And then the other thing is those of us who were involved back when we were trying to get the airport expansion. Vividly remember being told by the FAA representatives along with the BOA representatives, you're wasting our time, this will not happen. And last year we cut the ribbon on a 5,500 foot runway. So, this is a tenacious group that's here, and they see something in front of them that makes sense, and it's for all the right reasons. It goes after pretty hard.
Ralph, you want to add something?
Yeah, a very basic thing is I come to work every day and I drive down Route 22 and I come into Blairsville and I look up and I see Chestnut Ridge. Just the natural beauty gives me that warm feeling. And really when people say, well, why did you locate out there? And then once they come out and see and also the fact that Chestnut Ridge Golf Course is right across the road had nothing to do with us moving where we are.
Great. I think we have time for a couple questions from the audience. If anyone has something in particular that they'd like to ask our esteemed panel. I guess you were so thorough that there was no need.
Or we put everybody to sleep.
All right. Well, certainly let's give our panelists a round of applause. They did a great job today. And now I would like to introduce Indiana County Commissioner Chairman Rod Ruddick. Commissioner? I detached this.
Oh, you did. Okay. Well, it's good afternoon. I'm joined today with my colleagues Mike Baker and Patty Ivanko, and I always want to make sure that they're included when I have a chance to offer comment to any great organization and those who have come from the Pittsburgh region into Indiana County. We're really excited today, all of us, to be part of the traditional theme of the Pittsburgh Business Times and offer our success story as part of the corridors of opportunity. The challenge that I have as final comments is that everything I wanted to say has been said by the panel here. In fact, I wanted to jump in about some of the topics that were raised, specifically about transportation, because we spent 2 hours this morning working with PennDOT speaking about the importance of improving the route on 422, particularly from Indiana to Ebensburg and to Katanning, to improve our quality of transportation, to get goods to market. That is what this is all about. We are blessed in Indiana County. I've lived here all my life, so you're going to have to bear with me because I really believe in this community. First of all, we host the best state-owned university in Pennsylvania, IUP. We do. And on that basis, I want to say this because it comes from the heart. We derive our heritage here in Indiana County from the courage and resilience from the Native American Indian. We now, however, celebrate a new journey in life and a transition to community development inspired by what you see up on the screen, the prowess of the IUP Crimson Hawk. Our economic vitality is strategically driven by a committee that you heard from today by Mike Donnelly, and I believe also Bob Kane, that meets monthly, called the Center of Economic Operations, or CEO. And I want to restate that committee membership because it describes the team that tries to make decisions on the behalf of this county for economic development that takes us into the future. I had a laundry list of successes that Indiana County has enjoyed over the last number of years, but you're not here to hear about those successes. You're here to find out what we are about and what makes up this community, because we want you to come here and set up your business in Indiana County because we will take care of you. There is no doubt about that. Our CEO is formed by the president of the university, the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of the Indiana County Development Corporation, the president of the Indiana County Tourist Bureau, and our team of county commissioners. One voice, one common focus is how we do business. We have a legislative team that you heard from that really is part of our mission. And anything we do, we rally around our legislative team and our congressional leaders to make sure the funding that is needed to make us healthy is in place and move us forward. I have a lot more to boast about, but I'm not going to do that, because you're going to see very shortly a video which will allow me to make another comment on a specific event, one specific event that occurred in the last 12 months that sets the tone not only for what about this county, but the collaborative spirit, but how we work as a team and grow to sustain business. It is for this reason that many of you have joined with us today, because in this video you will hear and learn not about what we have done, but you will hear about the character of Indiana County. You will hear firsthand from a local business owner an amazing effort that was made by our county when called into action to regrow a local family-owned business with a national market from a devastating loss of a tragic fire, regrown in 10 months. And you will hear that story. This short testimony you will hear will help to better have you understand our character, our commitment to our economic mission. You will also view a county storyline that describes our county's strength, our county's passion, and our true commitment to excellence. It is my pleasure, and I'd like to follow with a few comments after the video that you will see. I think you will find it a very impressive marketing video, the first one we've ever had in Indiana County. I want to thank the Gazette because they have put together a team to put this in place. Jim Struzzi, who is the chamber president, who helped orchestrate this, and I believe members like Byron Stauffer, who helped organize the thought processes to tell you why Indiana County is special, very special. Thank you.